With Radio Algeria International, you will not miss a single major political or economic event. Radio Algeria International, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
Niger's head of state, Army General Abdurrahman Tiani, is paying today a two-day working visit of friendship to Algeria at the invitation of the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmadjid Tebboune. The 39th summit of the African Union has wound up in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa, after adopting the Algiers Declaration on Colonial Crimes, designating November 30th as the African Day of Remembrance for African martyrs and victims of the transatlantic slave trade, colonialism and apartheid. UNRWA's General Commissioner Philippe Lazzarini has affirmed that the UN agency is an asset for peace in the Gaza Strip, considering insufficient the ceasefire enforced in the Palestinian enclave. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail from Radio Algeria International. First in our news, Niger's head of state, Army General Abdurrahman Tiani, is paying today a two-day working visit of friendship to Algeria at the invitation of the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmadjid Tebboune. The visit by Niger's head of state, who is heading or leading a large delegation, is aimed at reinforcing the brotherly and good neighborliness relations linking the two countries and boost bilateral cooperation, taking advantage of their capacities and potentialities to the benefit of their peoples. The visit will also be devoted to the examining of several political issues related to the African continent and to the Sahel-Sahara region in particular. The 39th summit of the African Union has wound up in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa, after 2 days of discussions. It is worth noting that the summit has adopted the Algiers Declaration on Colonial Crimes, designated November 30th as the African Day of Remembrance for African martyrs and victims of the transatlantic slave trade, colonization, and apartheid. The AU also commended President Abdelmadjid Tebboune for the initiative. The Declaration of Algiers followed an international conference held in Algiers in late 2025 on justice and preparations for Africans and people of African descent. It aims to support continental efforts to recognize colonialism as a crime, promote compensation for victims, preserve collective memory, and prevent historical injustices from recurring. It also calls on former colonial powers to acknowledge their historical responsibilities and propose the creation of an African environmental justice platform to assess damages and support rehabilitation and compensation measures. Representing the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmadjid Tebboune, Prime Minister Fifrey has participated in Addis Ababa in a session dedicated to examining the report of the African Union Peace and Security Council on the state of peace and security in Africa within the framework of the 39th AU Summit. On the occasion, the President of the Republic addressed a message to the participants read on his behalf by the Prime Minister, in which he commended the efforts of the President of the Sisterly Arab Republic of Egypt, Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, during his chairmanship of the PSC for the current month, as well as the important report he presented in a delicate context marked by geopolitical complexities and increased security pressures. In his address, the President of the Republic reaffirmed Algiers' unwavering support and position regarding the conflicts, the President of the Republic reaffirmed Algiers' unwavering position regarding the conflicts affecting the continent, reiterating his full support for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Regarding the Sahel region, he emphasized the need for a comprehensive and integrated approach, taking into account the close link between security and development, while addressing the socio-economic roots fueling violent extremism. Concerning the situation in Libya, the President reiterated Algeria's support for the inter-Libyan political process, as well as for continental and UN efforts aimed at bridging the gap between the Libyan brothers, stressing that the only way out of the crisis lies in holding free and transparent elections and the complete and immediate withdrawal of all foreign forces and mercenaries in order to guarantee Libya's unity and sovereignty. Let's listen to the message.
وفي ليبيا الشقيقة Regarding sisterly Libya, we reiterate our unwavering support for the Libyan-led political process and for the continental and international efforts aimed at bridging the differences between the parties at issue, organizing free and transparent elections, and ensuring the complete and immediate withdrawal of all foreign forces and mercenaries, thus guaranteeing Libya's unity and sovereignty.
Regarding the situation in Sudan, the President of the Republic expressed his profound dismay at the humanitarian tragedy and unprecedented violations, commending the AU's central role in its efforts to resolve the crisis. He also called for an immediate ceasefire and the launch of a sovereign and inclusive inter-Sudanese national dialogue capable of ending the bloodshed and addressing the aspirations of the Sudanese people.
As for Sudan, we call from this platform for an immediate ceasefire and the launch of a sovereign and inclusive Sudanese national dialogue. We reaffirm our support for the African Union initiatives and the transitional government's roadmap. Algeria is also following with great concern the maneuvers and tensions in the Horn of Africa region and stresses the need to respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of states and to resolve conflicts peacefully.
In the Horn of Africa region, Algeria emphasized the need to respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of states and to resolve disputes peacefully through constructive dialogue within the framework of the AU mechanisms. Regarding the decolonization process in Western Sahara, the President of the Republic affirmed or reaffirmed Algeria's support for the efforts undertaken by the United Nations to achieve a just, lasting and mutually acceptable political solution in accordance with the purposes and principles of the UN Charter and relevant Security Council resolutions. He also emphasized the importance of maintaining a constructive engagement in the political process under UN auspices and supporting the role of the personal representative of the UN Secretary General.
وفيما يتعلق بمسار تصفية الاستعمار في الصحراء